I recently bought some 5 red cherry shrimp online and I wanted to make a quick video to show you guys how I acclimate my shrimp before I add them to the aquarium. And just before we get into the video, if you guys can like and subscribe, it really helps the channel out. Whenever I get new fish or shrimp that I'm going to add to my aquarium, I like to use the drip method. The drip method is a good way to acclimate shrimp and delicate fish into your aquarium, as sudden changes in their water parameters can cause them to die if they are suddenly introduced into a new environment. I've used this method so many times and it's always worked out really well for me. So I place the shrimp carefully into a large bucket. I'm just being careful to make sure I get all the shrimp out and not leave any behind in the bag. The shrimp might cling to the bag, so it's a good idea just to give the bag an extra look, just to make sure there's none left in. Next I got some airline tubing and placed one end in the aquarium and the other end in the bucket. The bit of tubing at the end which goes into the bucket, I tied a knot in it. To start the slide we need to suck a bit of the air out the airline tubing, and then this will start the flow of water into the bucket. I use a suction cup at the end of the airline tubing to stick it to the bucket. This helps to secure the tube into the bucket while the water is dripping in. I'm trying to aim for about 5 drips a second. You can control the flow rate of the water with the knot in the airline tubing. So the tighter you put the knot, the less water that's going to come out. So you can see now it's slowed down quite a lot. So after 2 to 3 hours, the volume of water in the bucket should have doubled or tripled in volume. The longer drip acclimation you can do, the better, as this will reduce the amount of shock the shrimp will experience when you move them into your aquarium. Drip acclimation allows for your fish and shrimp to slowly adapt to your new aquarium, as the water they have previously lived in may have different pH, KH, GH and even temperature. By slowly dripping your aquarium water into the water they have been living in, it will help them to adapt to the new water parameters of your aquarium and will hopefully prevent the fish and shrimp from dying when you add them to your aquarium. So now I'm just getting another bucket to pour the excess water into. It's important not to add the water that the shrimp have been acclimating in into your aquarium. That water might contain unwanted bacteria, fungus or parasites that you don't want to be adding to your aquarium. So I'm just pouring the excess water into another bucket through a net. The net's there just to catch any shrimp that might fall into the other bucket. These shrimp had some moss in the bag. The moss gives the shrimp something to cling to while they're in transit. This is something that sellers add to the bag just to help reduce stress while the shrimp are being moved in transit. I'm just removing as much of this as possible because I don't want to add it to my aquarium. This is because moss grows really quick, and then if left unchecked, small bits can just grow out of control and I'll be trying to dig it out of my aquarium for such a long time. So with the net I'm just trying to carefully scoop out as many as I can. You gotta be careful as the shrimp are quite small and very delicate. You just don't want to squish them, so just take your time when you do this. You may only end up getting 1 or 2 shrimp out at a time, but it's better to take your time and be careful, as you want to try and reduce the amount of stress you put on the shrimp. In my aquarium at the moment I got about 10 fire red shrimp along with some celestial pearl daniels and some pygmy cories. Now I'm just going to carefully add the shrimp into the aquarium. You might need to give them a nudge out the net as they like to cling to surfaces. Shaking the net gently will help get the shrimp out. It may take a few hours or a day or 2 for the shrimp to get their full colour, as they may be stressed when you add them to your aquarium, so just give them a bit of time. Dwarf shrimp like cherry shrimp make a great addition to a planted tank, as it acts as a good cleanup crew eating dead plant matter and algae in the aquarium. And now I'm just going to show you guys some footage of the shrimp in their new aquarium.